You wake up, eyes heavy, mind already racing with excuses. You want freedom? The kind that lets you live on your terms. But you're still hitting snooze, scrolling through your phone before your feet hit the floor. You want peace, a calm that nothing can shake, but your thoughts are a storm, tearing through your focus like paper. You want power, the kind that makes you untouchable, but life's smallest setbacks still send you spiraling. You're asking for things you haven't earned, and no one's had the guts to tell you the truth. Freedom isn't a gift, it's a war, and the enemy, it's you. Not the world, not your boss, not your ex, not the past you can't let go of. It's you versus you, every single day. Most people lose because it's easier to point fingers than to look in the mirror. It's easier to talk big than to act. It's easier to post about your dreams on WisdomWavesAura than to grind through the discomfort of making them real. But easy doesn't build strength. Easy doesn't forge freedom. Stoicism isn't here to coddle you. It's not about quick fixes or motivational quotes you can slap on a WisdomWavesAura thumbnail. It's about truth, raw and unfiltered. The truth is this: freedom is forged in the fire of discipline, restraint, and silence. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire while wrestling his own mind, wrote that you have power over your thoughts, not the chaos of the world. Realize that, and you'll find strength. But how many actually live it? How many wake up with a mind like a fortress, calm and unshaken? How many walk through pain without flinching, without whining? How many can look at themselves in the mirror and see someone they command, not someone who's a slave to their own impulses? Not many, because mastering yourself isn't glamorous. It demands sacrifice, the sacrifice of comfort, of instant gratification, of the weakness you've let define you. Look around. Most people are prisoners, not of iron chains but of invisible ones. They're slaves to lust, chasing fleeting pleasures that leave them empty. They're slaves to distraction, drowning in notifications, unable to sit in silence for 5 minutes. They're slaves to anger, greed, jealousy, comparison, fear emotions. They let run their lives like a child throwing a tantrum. They call it being human, but it's just being weak. They let every passing feeling dictate their actions and call it authenticity. They run from quiet moments, terrified of what they'll find when the noise stops. Seneca, another Stoic who knew a thing or two about chaos, said no one is free if they're a slave to their passions. Yet the world's hooked on dopamine like it's a drug. Swipe, scroll, escape, repeat. They don't face themselves anymore. They bury their truth under layers of noise, afraid of what they'll see when it's just them and the silence. You've seen it on WisdomWavesAura videos about growth, discipline, purpose, but how many actually live it? They talk about becoming better but shy away from the pain it takes. They romanticize peace while living in chaos. They glorify strength, but crumble when discipline demands effort. That's why they suffer. Not because life's unfair, but because they lack the will to become who they're meant to be. You weren't born to be soft, to be ruled by urges or impulses. You weren't born to react like a toddler to every emotion that bubbles up. You were born with the potential for something greater control over yourself. But potential is worthless. Without action, it's like a seed buried in dirt, useless until you water it with sweat, focus, and sacrifice. Freedom isn't handed out like candy. It's earned through every choice to stay steady when the world tries to pull you apart. It's earned when you drag yourself out of bed, even when every fiber of you screams to stay warm and cozy. It's earned when you say no to the easy path, no to weakness, no to distraction, yes to the grind, yes to the pain. Epictetus, a Stoic who started life as a slave, didn't mince words. He said freedom is the only goal worth chasing, won by letting go of what you can't control. You can't control people's opinions, the weather, loss, rejection, or failure. But you can control your attitude, your response, your discipline, your mind. Master those, and the game changes. Not because life gets softer, but because you become harder to break. You stop crumbling under pressure. You stop chasing approval. You stop living in fear of what might go wrong. Instead, you move with a stillness that nothing can touch. You walk through storms like a mountain stands against the wind, unshaken, unmoved, unbreakable. But let's be real, becoming that person isn't easy. It's not a WisdomWavesAura highlight reel with epic music and quick cuts. It's blood, sweat, and solitude. It's losing people who liked you better when you were weak. It's facing nights of doubt, days of grinding repetition, and still waking up ready to fight again. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not rewarded with applause or viral views. It's a quiet, lonely commitment to the best version of yourself when no one's watching. It's choosing the hard path when the easy one's wide open. It's walking away from the crowd to sit with your pain and not let it own you. It's building a mind so strong that no insult can dent it, no temptation can sway it, no loss can shatter it. That's freedom. But to get there, you have to suffer, not the kind of suffering that breaks you, but the kind that builds you, like fire forging steel. You have to endure the silence, where your truth waits like a mirror you can't escape. You have to bury your excuses, one by one, until they're gone. You have to die to your weaknesses, over and over, until what's left is clean, powerful, unbreakable. Peace isn't something you find, it's something you build. Discipline isn't something you have, It's something you choose until it becomes who you are. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, comfort, and entitlement, the Stoic stands apart. Not loud, not flashy, but unshakable. Why? Because they know who they are. They're not ruled by their body, their cravings, or the chaos around them. They walk through hell with their head high and their mouth shut. That kind of strength doesn't need to scream. It doesn't need to post quotes on WisdomWavesAura for validation. It just moves calm, centered, clear while the world around it crumbles. You're here to become that person, not a slave to pleasure, not a victim of impulse, not someone who talks about strength but folds when life gets tough. You're here to master the only battlefield that matters, the one inside you. That war never ends. It's fought every morning when you want to sleep in. It's fought every night when your mind craves escape. It's fought when people test your patience, your integrity, your limits. But every time you choose control over chaos, you win. Every time you hold your peace in the face of provocation, you win. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you win. That's how you rise, not by conquering the world, but by conquering your own nature. Until you do that, you're not free. You're a prisoner to your emotions, your cravings, your distractions, your fear of failure, your addiction to comfort. You'll build nothing solid. You'll become nothing real. You'll keep running in circles, chasing a version of yourself you never committed to becoming. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose differently. You can become the person who owns their time, their mind, their life. From that place of control, you can build peace that no storm can shake. You can forge power that no setback can break. You can create a life that's yours, not because the world gave it to you, but because you took it. Start today. Wake up and choose. Choose to act, not just talk. Choose to grind, not just dream. Choose to face the silence, not run from it. Share that journey on WisdomWavesAura, not to show off, but to hold yourself accountable. Let every decision be a step toward the person you're meant to be. Someone who doesn't just survive life's storms, but walks through them with a steady heart and an unshakable mind. That's the Stoic way. That's the path to freedom. And it's waiting for you to take the first step.